Anna is a 7-year-old intelligent girl who loves exploring everything around her. One afternoon, while walking in the garden, Anna accidentally discovered a very unusual flower. The flower was a deep purple, with soft petals and a pleasant fragrance that captivated her. However, as she approached it, she felt that something was not quite right. It seemed as though this flower was not only beautiful but also hiding a secret. Anna decided to gently touch the petal, and immediately, a sharp pain spread through her hand. She quickly withdrew her hand, looking worriedly at the flower. The pain she felt was unlike anything she had ever experienced with any other flower. In that moment, a thought flashed in her mind: could this flower be poisonous? Anna couldn't stop thinking about this strange flower. She decided to ask her grandmother about it, as her grandmother always had mysterious stories about plants. Upon returning home, Anna hurried to her grandmother, the one person she trusted to have answers to all her questions. Her grandmother listened to Anna's story, and her face grew serious. She told Anna about the nightshade flower, a plant with an enchanting beauty but great danger. "You must be careful, Anna. The nightshade flower can release toxins when touched. That's why no one dares to go near it," her grandmother explained. Anna was surprised, but even more curious than before. She couldn't understand how a flower could be so dangerous. Her grandmother continued, telling strange stories about the nightshade flower, how people had fainted just from inhaling its scent. "That's why we must be very careful when handling it, Anna. The toxin in the flower can drain a person's life force," she said. Though she was scared, Anna couldn't stop thinking about the nightshade flower. She wanted to learn more about it, to understand why it possessed such strange power. She decided to go into the forest where the nightshade grew to explore. Her grandmother warned her to be cautious and not take risks, but Anna was determined to go on her journey. The next day, she packed her supplies and set off. She took water, food, and a small backpack, ready for the long journey ahead. Anna entered the dense forest, where tall trees blocked out the sunlight. The quiet atmosphere of the forest was only interrupted by the sound of leaves rustling under her feet. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Anna noticed a strange change in the air. The fragrance of the nightshade began to waft through the trees, growing stronger with each step. She wondered if this was a sign that she was getting closer to the dangerous flower. Though she felt a little uneasy, Anna did not turn back. She wanted to prove she could face this challenge. Soon, she reached the area her grandmother had described. Before her was a wide patch of land, scattered with nightshade flowers. The deep purple flowers glowed like little flames in the forest's shadows. The fragrance became overwhelming, making Anna dizzy. Her heart pounded as she approached the flowers. She remembered her grandmother's words: "The nightshade won't release toxins unless someone touches it." However, Anna felt that something was off. She began inspecting the petals and noticed that they were unlike any other flowers. Each petal had tiny black marks, like small scratches made by a forceful impact. She didn't understand why there were these marks, but her fear grew stronger. At that moment, Anna heard a strange sound behind her. She turned around but saw nothing. Then, a cold gust of wind swept through, causing her to shiver. She realized something was watching her in the forest. The sense of danger became more apparent. Anna decided she would not stay any longer. She quickly turned to leave, but her foot accidentally stepped on a dry twig. The noise caused the flowers around her to begin trembling, as if they were reacting to her presence. Suddenly, a powerful wave of fragrance filled the air, making Anna feel lightheaded. She quickly covered her nose and mouth with her sleeve, trying to avoid inhaling too much of the toxin. But the strength of the scent was too much, and it became hard for her to breathe. Anna ran away from the area, her heart racing. She knew she had narrowly escaped a dangerous situation and understood that her grandmother had been right. The nightshade flower truly had a mysterious and terrifying power. Anna's heart raced in her chest, as if it might leap out. She looked around, but all she saw were trees and shadows. everything remained still. She didn't dare look back at the forest, but the feeling of being watched lingered in her mind. Her footsteps became faster as she glanced nervously at every branch or shadow that might jump out from the darkness. Her steps echoed in the quiet space, signaling that she wasn't alone on this journey. The cold wind sent chills down her spine, and every hair on her body stood on end. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed from behind her. Anna turned, her heart pounding, but saw nothing. She wondered whether it was an illusion or if something was truly close by. The darkness in the forest grew thicker, and the scent of the nightshade still hung in the air, making her feel suffocated. She continued walking, but with each step, it felt like she was being pulled into a nightmare from which there was no escape. The rustling of the leaves in her ears grew heavier and more terrifying. It felt as if something invisible was chasing her, as though the darkness in the forest was swallowing her whole. As she passed through a patch of wild trees, a strong gust of wind blew, causing the trees to shake violently. Anna turned around and saw a dark figure flickering between the branches, like a shadow. Her eyes widened, her throat tightened, but all she could do was run faster. She raced past the ancient trees, her heart filled with fear, not daring to look back. It felt as if an invisible hand was gripping her, not allowing her to leave. She only wanted to get out of the forest as quickly as possible, but the path back home seemed endless. Her steps grew heavier, each one a great effort to keep her composure. She could feel the scent of the nightshade growing stronger, and she vaguely realized it was still hiding in the wind, chasing her like an inescapable shadow. Finally, after a long run, Anna saw light filtering through the trees. She hurried out, not daring to look back. Once she emerged from the dark forest, she let out a sigh of relief. But inside her, a feeling of unease remained. Anna looked at her trembling hands, her fingers still shaking from the panic. She couldn't forget the strange nightshade flowers in the forest and the sensations she experienced when touching them. Although she had escaped the danger, the unanswered questions about the mysterious flower lingered in her mind. She didn't know if it would continue to threaten her, but one thing was certain: from now on, she would always remember the nightshade flower, a beautiful flower that also contained a terrifying secret.